we're at Black Box Radio. We have Robin Massie today. Say hi to the people.
Hey, everybody.
So tell the people what you actually do professionally so we can kind of unpack how this virus has affected that.
First of all, I just want to say thank you to you, Queen, and Mr. Jared. I'm really honored to be on Black Box Radio. I was honored to be invited to be here. So just to share space with y'all tonight is really exciting for me. Yeah, so as a professional, I am two things. I have two careers. I am a musician and I'm a nurse. So I work as a freelance artist. I perform with a lot of different orchestras and string quartets and, chamber groups. I do solo work, but I do recording. I also, as a nurse, I work specifically in the emergency room at a hospital just outside of West Baltimore. So my life is is pretty exciting, I guess.
Very exciting. So your first responder, how has that been?
Oh man, it's hectic. It's pretty intense, always intense. It's funny because as a nurse, my job was already stressful and already intense because you're running on adrenaline. You're constantly, trying to think one step ahead. How can I help this person? How can I preserve the life of this person? How can I be present with this person in their moment of suffering? So that alone is stressful. Then you add the coronavirus. We all know Rona has done a number on all of us.
Rona us out.
Oh, Lord have mercy. So it's been extra intense. I mean, we all see how day by day the numbers are rising in terms of the cases, the death toll, but also just even in terms of how it's affecting all of us. I think psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, we're all impacted. And all of those things impact the physical. So that's what I see, as a nurse. I'm not just looking at, the physical ailments that someone comes in with, but I'm looking at the stressors, what incited disease or that whole process, because it's always a cascade. It's never just, one moment. And I think that's true for all of us, whether we are well or sick. There's always going to be some kind of instigator that's going to try to creep in and, steal your joy or steal your health. And how do we fight back? I think we're all kind of in that fight or flight mode right now.
Well, the blessing is what Rona has done is the equity. Everyone's being affected at the same time. Because usually, yes, we have classes in our society and we set up society a certain way, but Rona don't care about none of that.
Absolutely.
So it's going to come hit the rich and then it's going to hit the poor. And yes, some people are going to definitely from divestment and stressors, and their health was compromised. So this has been something that's exacerbated that, but it's affecting everyone, and it gives us equity in that moment, because that is the conversation for everyone in the world. We're not even talking about in the U.S. That is the conversation everyone's having is around this virus. And I just wonder, after we're done, the trauma that we will now identify from this type of when your life changes in a day. Like you blink your eye and nothing's open the next day, or anything that you did before is gone. How are we going to now rebound? And people say, well, I'm ready to go back to normal, but can you really go back to normal? Is that really something that you can do? I mean, what do you think, Ms. Robin? Is that something we can do?
I think it depends on our definition of normal. I think everyone's definition is different. I think for some people it may shift. For some people it may return. I certainly am a very touchy-feely person. I crave connection. So the idea of, social distancing was very difficult for me. However, I have tried to find very, as all of us have, I think, creative ways to stay connected, Black box radio is a perfect example of that. I mean, you're taking the trauma that we're each experiencing and you're using it to unite us. And I think that's in and of itself is extremely therapeutic. Uh,
Hmm.
the moment that we distance ourselves physically, we have to find some other way to stay united spiritually, emotionally, communicatively in some way. Um, and I find that to be a challenge that I am grateful to take on because I refuse to be isolated. I think it's my um, part of my psyche, and all of us. I think I believe we're all designed for connection and relationship. So while the state or the country, whatever government may mandate that we remain apart, we have to find ways to stay connected for our own wellness.
That is true. And one of the reasoning for the Rona report is it's cathartic. It's something,
Absolutely.
yeah, we absolutely, sometimes if you talk to people in like experiences at like times, it takes the pressure away, it takes the trigger out.
Yes.
It removes the stress because you're sharing this experience.
Absolutely. I agree.
And so even though we can't touch each other, and that's what I said about Rona. Rona didn't start in Africa.
Exactly.
Africans, we touchy. So
Right.
so they can say where I'm not saying it's the Chinese because people don't come for me. Don't come for me. I didn't say it started in Wuhan. That's what they said. But
Mm,
I know it didn't start in no Africa if you can't touch nobody. The
right.
devil was a liar because that's how we move. We are touchy, we're community. So Rona is it's a lonely movement. It's,
It
if you go in the hospital, you don't have no visitors. It's a hard movement.
Yes, it is, and it's hard
And
to watch that
it's
process.
hard to watch it. People
Mhm.
dying alone. It's scary,
Yeah,
but this is the process we're in, and we have to. Our spirituality really is being tested. We have to look into that and really understand that this too shall pass. And
yes,
but we just have to be very safe while we're in it.
that's right.
That's
That's
it.
right.
That's all I
Mhm.
can say. So, as a musician, how's that been affected? Are you still orchestrating?
I like everyone else. I'm finding different ways to, make that art. I think that um, we're all blessed to live in this age of technology where we have Zoom, we have Facebook Live, we got IG, we got all of these
Oh, yeah.
platforms that we can still stay connected. And a couple of my friends, for instance, last week, music friends, we were all talking about how we miss gigging, like just the art of getting in the car, throwing your instrument and your music in the back seat, running to that gig, showing up, sitting down in a whole room full of people making collective sound. I mean, that is an art.
Oh,
And
that's called gigging? Y'all call it gigging? I've never heard
yeah, yeah, you run to the next gig from gig to gig.
that. I love it, gigging.
Absolutely. So, we miss that. Even just the
The process.
process. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that separation again, and yet we all decided let's call each other on Zoom. Let's organize a time where we can record something individually and put it together. Which you're seeing a lot of that on TV where artists are
Yes.
making music together, even though we're separated. Part of the intimacy or the sensual nature of music is being close in close proximity, and you get the vibrations, you get the physicality of making music with another person. But without that, it's strange. However, we're all trying to kind of climb that hurdle and still find ways to make music together, and at least in the end product it'll be a unified sound. So it's fun. It just feels different.
I bet it does. Everything feels different. I'm telling
Yes,
you. Even getting up in the morning and not rushing to go to work. It's just
exactly.
things have changed. And I mean, and that's a good feeling. I mean, but your pocket's not feeling it good, but it is
Okay.
definitely a good feeling. It's definitely a good feeling. So as a parent, and being in the house, your child, how's that
Yes.
space and educating? How's that affected your life?
Queen, it
Hmm.
is stressful. Let me tell you,
You
it
said,
is.
but emphatically, my name.
It is not for the faint of heart. And I have always, my daughter is, I'm a single mom.
Hmm.
My daughter's 13, so she's more like my little sister in a way. We butt heads at times. We come together at other times, and we try to work it out at all times. We're on the same team, but this distance learning is difficult. I mean, I'm so thankful that I'm young enough. I know how to manipulate the technology and that sort of thing.
Hmm.
Um, but it's still a challenge. Even though she doesn't have to physically leave the house at the crack of dawn, she still has to get up and be alert, be on that computer, be more self-guided in a way um,
Hmm.
that, for at least for her, is particularly challenging. So that's another job for me. Like, I already have two prong career. Now I got a third. I got a homeschool too.
Yeah.
And it's tough. It's definitely not easy. I've always had to do a little bit of that. Just, I think all parents do.
I
Um,
just want to talk to some kids too. I want to know how they feel.
oh, it's rough. At least I know from her perspective,
I
she's,
know they're hurting. I know it's
yeah,
hard for them. I really
it
want to talk,
is.
like, how do you feel about this? How are you learning anything? I think
Exactly.
one thing I think, Sister Robin, is our rush to be normal is
Mhm.
becoming our worst enemy.
I agree.
You want everything to be normal, and these children, they've been not even the children. We're talking about the teachers
Yes.
and the administrators. Everyone is going through COVID-19, and they act
Yes.
as if let's just get online and get it done. But
Right.
everybody needs time to unpack this trauma, and
Oh,
and it seems to me as if our quest for normalcy is negating the trauma and what people are feeling.
absolutely correct.
And
I
we're not
could
going
not agree
anywhere. So
more.
take some time, get people to at least May. I think school should have been out and let kids and let the parents get them ready and get used to the computer and the
Hmm.
ways of manipulating education through the virtual spaces and distance learning. They did none of that.
Yeah.
Let's just implement it, get them. And is it going to be effectual? Are they going to learn one damn thing this year? That's what I want to know.
Yes. And you know what's funny? I will say, on the flip side, at least with my daughter,
Hmm.
I feel that she's inadvertently learning more
Mm.
because of this whole trauma. And I think it's that she has to become a little bit more self reliant. There's so much time outside of the classroom
Hmm.
that, it's kind of forcing, at least for me, I have to say, you know what? We're going to bake some cookies. We're going to turn this into a science class. This is why,
Yeah,
oils and liquid, whatever, I could
you're
go on
right.
about that. But, taking real life experiences outside of the classroom and applying it. And it's giving me more time with her. I appreciate that. Um,
Hmm.
and if I may offer something that I read the other day, it was a quote by um, Catherine Woodwiss, I think is her name, where she just says, trauma permanently changes us. And as you said so astutely, this is the big scary truth about trauma.
Hmm.
There is no such thing as getting over it.
There's no measure.
There is no measure. There is no back to the old me. You are different now.
Hmm.
Full stop. And I think, end quote, we have to accept the fact that we are different
Yep.
and we are in a different phase of life. 2020 turned us all the way around, and now we have to accept that. Yes,
It came in with a banger bang.
it really did. It really did. And we now have to say, okay, 2020, okay.
I said I thought 2020 was going to be this pivotal year. We're going into a new decade, another 10 years. 2020 is like a reset, and it is the biggest reset of our lifetimes.
Yes, it absolutely is. You ain't never lied.
Everybody who said Happy New Year, I'm gonna slap your face. Because that's how I feel right now.
That is so true.
That's how I really feel, Miss Robin.
You are so on point. That is exactly how I feel. And I try to start each year with a mantra or some kind of, just something to hold on to. And for me, the beginning of 2020, my mantra, it's so simple. It was just hashtag unbothered. I'm going to start this year and just be focused on moving forward. And I, in part, decided to kind of impart that to my daughter, that you need to just be focused. You need to be calm, reset yourself every day. Don't let anything, help you or cause you to veer off of your path. And this is the most testing I've had since last year, at least, about being unbothered. I have to be unbothered
Now
because,
you hashtag bothered.
yeah, right.
That is gone. It's bothered now. It's all good. It's so all good. Oh my goodness. So Miss Robin, we at the last will and testament. And you already
Yes.
told us you are a musician.
Yes.
But the last will and testament is your jewel. So I can't pick what you're gonna leave with us. But leave a jewel with us. Leave something special with us.
Oh,
And the
well,
people.
thank
Inspire
you
us.
so much. I just want to thank you again for having me. This has been a wonderful conversation. Even in its brevity, I think we've touched on a lot of different real subjects that I think we're all
Mhm.
dealing with. And I just want to invite everybody to find your peace. I think we all have to sort of trust the process, as you mentioned, not be in a hurry to find normalcy, but maybe this path is changing all of us for the better.
Mhm.
That's my prayer. So yeah, I think I would love to um, leave everybody with a little rendition on Babalu.
Hallelujah.
Yes, I'm going to play He's Got the Whole World in His Hands.
I wish you could see my face. All my teeth are out. Come on and give it to me. Give it to me, Miss Robin.
Oh, thank you again.
Wow. Babalu is what?
Babalu
Babalu
is a viola.
Ola.
Yes,
Beautiful.
thank,
Awesome.
thank
Gee,
you.
Robin, thank you so much for sharing. First of all, let's address the gift that you just shared with us by sharing that beautiful rendition on Babalu. And also thank you for sharing your unique perspective as a healthcare professional, as an artist, as a parent dealing with the situation that we are going through together right now. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jared. Thank you, Queen. I appreciate both of you. I appreciate the listeners. Let's all stay connected. Lots of love. One love.
And for all the listeners that Robin so aptly mentioned in her well wishes to us, my wish for you is that you also stay safe and quarantine with the box. So visit blackboxradio.com to hear more voices from the Rona Report. That's BLAKBOXXRADIO.com. You can also find Black Box Radio on Instagram and Facebook at Black Box Radio, and on Twitter at BoxBlack. That's BOXXBLAK. And if you're hearing this interview right now, it's important that we work together to get the word out. The Rona Report has been suppressed on social media platforms, so we're counting on the community to help spread the word. So share it with your friends and family so that everyone can hear these important voices.
All right, we are in the Rona Report. It is 4/20/20. We just had Robin, Massie. Listen, we really appreciate you, and Baba Lou.
Thank you so much. I appreciate both of you. This has been super fun and super real.
super authentic. We really appreciate the talent. That was so beautiful and so inspirational. Thank you so much, Ms. Robin.
Thank you.
So yes, this is the Rona Report. It's 4/22/20. We just had Robin, Massie. This is Black Box Radio. We're out. Peace.